Welcome, everybody, once again to Occultists Anonymous, our little corner of geekdom in the internet. Thank you very much for joining us. As always, we are brought to you through the sponsorship of Roll20 and viewers like you, namely Ryan, Thomas, Nova, Harry, Michael, Brandon, Cat Feathers, Josh, Alexander, Puppeteer, I forgot to sort it my special way, Cinna, Emil, Moku, Melissa, Doc, The Doomed, Other Michael, The Arcane, Bernie, Alan Michael, Al, Yusuf Sama, Great Scott, Julian, Delore, Jenny, Blood Angel, Jack Rayner, Zoltan, Funzo Sue, Milo V3, Vortex, Adele, Crazy Man 1772, George Woodfoot, Neomegas, Chris Hadforth, sorry, slip up, Shexara, Red Shirt Camo, Toast, Danielle, Thomas, Taryn, Angfalith, Parker, and Riafio. Thank you very much for all your support. Helps us do crazy things like engage artists to do new artwork for the new campaign that's going to be starting in a little while, and do gear refreshes and things like that. We really appreciate it. It helps us out.
A little birdie told me that we ought to have some things back from that this weekend.
Ooh.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
Which, as always, we will be posting on Patreon. So if you're the sleeper, no, not sleeper, cultist and sleepwalker tiers, you'll have access to that stuff a little bit early.
Fantastic.
So,
way to go,
as everyone probably remembers, we were taking a bit of a break from Mage to give Drew time to prepare for the new Chronicle. So this is the Star Trek Adventures mini-series that I'm running for the folks. Last time, our Intrepid crew, the senior staff anyway of the Intrepid crew, picked up a distress call and found themselves inadvertently trapped on the planet Xerxes 4, which is in the middle of a major ion storm that's been ravaging the planet. There's a small science station on the planet that was doing all sorts of activities, but the occupants of the science station appear to have regressed through some sort of effect. Their genetics have de-evolved them to Neanderthalic states. Our folks had encountered some challenges and overcome some troubles and managed to just reach the walls of the research station from their crash ship. They need to repair the ship in order to get off before the ion storm kills everybody. So that's where we left off. Any questions before we get started, or comments, thoughts, anything I missed?
We did figure out extended tasks, guys. Thank you.
Yes, there was a couple of errata. We failed to include the discipline in the effect dice we were rolling against the work track. So that was one mistake, and we posted a link for the challenge dice or an image of what the challenge dice scores are.
Oh,
we know how to do it now. So
we also figured out that there was a character sheet oddity. If you don't tap out of the number field where you're defining how many challenge dice you're rolling, it rolls whatever number you had in there previously, regardless of what it's there now. But it will report that it's only rolling the number that's there now. When you're putting in the challenge dice, hit tab to get out of the field to make sure it gets updated properly, and then the character sheet should be just fine.
Makes sense.
Okay. So we have arrived at the station. After a few little adventures, the science station was mostly intact, but it's heavily damaged along the exterior, mostly dents and punctures, probably from blowing debris. But you also saw a few areas of phaser fire. You guys opened up the door of the outpost was open, so you walked inside the outpost. Power is flickering. It's mostly dark on the inside, and the place looks like it's been vandalized.
What kind of structure is it?
It'd be like domes, connected domes.
Prefab steel.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. So that's where we pick up. You guys have just entered into the facility, seen that it looks like the place has just been ransacked. There's also signs of violence and damage on the inside as well.
All right.
And that's where we pick up. Oh, and Captain. One more thing we touched on at the end of the last episode, but you guys were starting to feel nervous and a little bit jittery and seeing things in the shadows. You managed to hold off those effects through composure and command and things like that. But whatever effect is happening on the planet does appear to be affecting you as well.
Ah.
Just for
Well, let's not stay here too long.
Urgency, yeah.
Yeah.
Right. So we're inside the facility. What would you guys like to do?
Captain Chichalor removes his outside wear.
And while you're doing that, Captain, would you also angle your camera up about just a wee bit?
You like that? A little bit like that?
There we go. Your head was
Sure.
getting cut off by your nameplate.
Yeah, I was told that.
Podcast folks, Ralph has just revealed that he is wearing a Starship Captain's sort of yellow
Indeed.
shirt.
Original
He's got
series.
the
Captain's
right,
uniform.
Yeah, the right yellow shirt. Or gold shirt, I think, right?
Yes.
Yep.
And Captain Chichalor says, he looks around and says, let's spread out and survey the area. Stay safe. Keep your eyes peeled.
Split up, gang.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, yeah.
All right.
Shut up, Harry.
So, inside the outpost, everywhere you go looks like it's been vandalized, or maybe raccoons or bears got loose or something.
Gotcha.
Cupboards have opened and contents have been spilled out, and containers have been torn apart. Like there's a big pile of flour in the galley and that kind of stuff. From the living quarters to the kitchen to the laboratories, of which there are several, it's obvious that someone or something wrecked the place without regard. You do find a couple of communication devices, like in the control room and in the lounge, but those devices have been smashed. Everywhere in the facility, the power is intermittent. Most of the places, the lights have been damaged, but in the few places where there's still lights, they're flickering on and off. But you don't find any living things inside. You guys are just about to give up your search for life when you find one last storage area with the door closed and locked. But as you guys gather outside the door, you can hear the sound of a muffled voice inside.
Lieutenant, do you think you can open this door?
Maybe.
If not,
should
I'm sure
probably
Commander John could
Talk to them.
force his way in.
Yeah, can I do, I guess it would be a presence to try and call out to the person inside. Let them know that we're not the whatever did this.
You can certainly give that a shot.
That's a good idea.
I don't have the stats for this.
I can do that if you prompted me.
Yeah, I'm not good at talking.
Okay.
I can probably break in, but you might want to give them a heads
there's
up.
a couple options. You could try and talk through the door. I will tell you that's from the sounds you're hearing, that's probably going to be difficult. But the lock does not look difficult. It would be a reason engineering or reason security task with a difficulty of 0 to get it open.
Yeah, I can pop the lock probably.
Okay.
Captain Chichalor pulls out his phaser pistol and flanks one side of the door. Says, Commander Jod.
All props.
I don't have a proper phaser, but I have a gun.
Good enough.
Oh, and while we're here, you guys still have some momentum, but this is a scene change, so because we're changing scenes, I'm taking one momentum away.
Okay. Sounds good.
However,
Threat, does that go away?
No, threat doesn't go away. However, because you've succeeded, you've got one success on a difficulty 0 roll, I'll just immediately add that back.
Just keep it back.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
So yeah, I pulled out whatever my multi-tool is and just get to work. Popped it open.
Yep, no problem. Easy enough to bypass the lock, and the door slides open. Jams partway through, so you have to squeeze a little bit to get through, but it's just annoying rather than an issue.
Not a real
you guys
hindrance.
Open up, not a real hindrance. So you guys peek in, and you can see on a cot at the back of the storage area, there is a middle-aged human. She is cradling in her arms a human male, or looks like a human male, but he appears to be undergoing active transformation.
Oh, no.
So it's hard to tell how old he is because his face is actively shifting. His sweat-soaked face is covered with hair. And even as you watch, you can see almost his brow ridges are forming and protruding actively as you're observing. It comes and goes as if it's changing in sporadic fits. The woman looks up at you. Her eyes are unfocused, filled with tears, and she's just kind of rocking back and forth as she cradles this man's head. And she says, "It's too late. They're all gone. And Jasper is." And she looks down at him and starts to cry some more.
It's never too late to try. Dr. Hudson, can you please sedate that man?
Sure.
Captain Chichelor approaches the woman and says, "Please allow us to help."
I'm going to have 4 and insight and...
Insight?
Yeah. This is interpersonal relations, but if you want to make a pitch for something different, I'll go for that.
Okay, sure. I think Captain Chichelor would harness all of his experience in diplomacy in risky circumstances and try and manifest his calm and reassuring presence to get her to allow us to help her.
Presence and command, sure. Go for it.
Cool. Alrighty. And let's see. Nothing better than action. I think that's a relevant value here. I'm not going to apply determination, but just figured I'd ask for the sake of understanding how we're going to be doing this.
Yeah, this isn't really action. This is more talking.
Okay. Sounds good.
Yeah.
All right. Then I think my focus on diplomacy might apply. And
sure.
I'll roll a task roll.
Okay, that's 1 success with a
complication.
Alrighty, that's a 20.
I will bank that complication for later.
Cool, sounds good to me.
Okay.
The threat pool gets just that little bit bigger.
Yep. It's fine. We can handle threats.
Yep. Speaking of, Nurjad is basically doing a quick once-over of the lab.
Sure. So you're basically in a storage bay area, like a small storage closet. She's got a cot set up in here. She's definitely looks like she's barricaded herself in here.
Okay.
So they probably retreated here, and then while she was here, her companion succumbed to the transformation.
That's sad.
So with your soothing words and your commanding presence, you managed to calm her down. And she looks up at you guys like, "Oh, you're here to help?"
We're Starfleet. We're always here to help.
I didn't even know if our distress call got through.
Barely.
Well, I'm glad to see you, but I don't know what there is to do.
Well, I will allow Dr. Hudson to possibly expound on that once he has determined what can be done.
If you'd perhaps like to help me bring Jasper to med bay?
She starts to shake her head, like, very nervously. They might be out there.
There's no one else in this building right now.
Well, okay. Come on, Jasper. She gets to her feet, and you give her a hand, and between the two of you, you guys start to walk through the corridor.
We have the other guy we brought with us too.
Yep.
Yeah, I've got him.
Yeah, I got him.
Yeah.
So you managed to make it to the med bay without incident, and you lay Jasper down, and lay your other patient down. So you have it's a med bay in that all the tools are there, but they're all kind of strewn around the place, and some of them are smashed and that kind of stuff. So it's sort of a crude med bay. But you have
I would like to perhaps run some blood work, diagnostics, whatever sorts of things.
Sure. Jasper?
I'll like both of them.
Sure.
I don't know if this is like the next step of my sort of process or whatever I was going through.
Well, you can tell for sure that he's, in addition to whatever transformation that he's going through, he actually has injuries.
Okay. All right. Well, I would
so
start
like
with that.
A quick visual triage would give you that. Sure.
Sure. And then it's going to be So yeah, if I notice that he's hurt, I'd heal him first before I start like trying to figure out what's wrong with him.
Sure. So healing Jasper's injuries will require some minor surgery.
Mm-hmm.
So using synth flesh, patch up wounds, and that kind of stuff. So it'll be a control medicine task with a difficulty of 2.
Is that raised at all by not having the stuff? Because I have the talent that ignores that. Build medicine.
So we can lower that down to a difficulty of 1.
Awesome.
That's
the best doctor.
Insight in medicine? Reason in medicine?
Reason in medicine.
And
sorry. No, control and because you're using tools for this.
Roll, okay.
And because Jod is there, he's going to play nurse.
Sure.
And just like point, and I will move the things, and scalpel. I can hand you a scalpel.
Tricorder. Hence the wrong one. Medical tricorder.
right. Which I imagine is probably still going to be control and medicine.
Yes.
Okay. And I roll 1d20. My medicine isn't great, but I have terrific control. So
fantastic.
There you go. 1 success.
You do. Way to
that
go.
gives me
one success.
That gives you 1 success right off the bat.
If you get
I'm
at least
using
one
my
success.
focus of take my pick of a couple, but surgery here.
For sure, absolutely. This is
Also
literally
got emergency medicine.
literally
so
a surgery task. So no problem there.
Yeah. Cool. And roll and medicine.
2 successes, so that's 3. The difficulty was 1, so you're going to get 2 momentum back.
Perfect.
Nice.
Tools at now
Heck yes.
4. That's cool. All right. So you patch up the injuries, and that really calms down the female human that you guys have brought.
Can we get her name while we're sort of patching this guy up?
So she is Dr. Heidi Ship. I'll put that name in the game chat.
Is she the one the call was from?
I don't remember that we
she's
had
the lead scientist of the team.
Who put out the distress call.
So as you guys are talking while you're doing the work, she tells you that there were 13 members here on Xerxes 4 that were examining the unique flora and fauna of the planet to see if it offered any scientific or medical uses. The iron storm has been ravaging the planet for over a week. There's something about it that's caused the living inhabitants, or all life really on the planet, to go through a process of de-evolution. Some of the science workers are more susceptible to the effects, so they changed virtually overnight. So everybody went to bed and they woke up in the morning and there was rampaging Neanderthals smashing things.
Why haven't you changed?
She is changing. She can feel it in her mind that she's undergoing the effects. She's just managed to hold out. Her and Jasper were the ones that lasted the longest, but he's almost finished his transformation now as well. So some others took longer but still transformed. She's held out the longest, but she's definitely feeling the effects, and she's not sure how much longer she has till her mind is no longer useful. Just before the ion storm struck, they had made a breakthrough in their research, discovering that a combination of some of the genetic material from the flora and fauna could be used in the treatment of, and possibly a cure for, rheumatic syndrome, which is an incurable disease that affects hundreds of thousands of people across the galaxy. Dr. Jasper Comrade is her assistant. That's the guy that you guys just helped. He was beaten severely by one of the transformed scientists, but he managed to treat his wounds, so he's out of that particular danger, but he's still transforming into Neanderthal before your very eyes. So that's all the information you managed to get out of her, unless you guys want to ask other probing questions. And this is all just conversation while you guys are working with Jasper.
Do you know of any things around that we could use to help repair our ship? Because it sounds like we need to get off this planet as soon as possible.
I'm just going to give you that for free. You guys would know that the parts that you need are not difficult to come by.
Yeah.
You would be able to find them. It's just a matter of searching through the debris and the wreckage to find undamaged parts to be able to do the repair. So that's not a problem. There will be, it'll take some time. It'll be like an extended task or task challenge to come up with enough parts to do the repair. But she says, yeah, most of the equipment's been damaged, but parts should be intact if you can find them.
Is your data that you acquired here safe?
They have the data. The problem is that the plants that produce the genetic material that they need to possibly manufacture a cure, those plants are de-evolving. So the opportunity to process them to get a cure is fading quickly. So if we don't get samples, the door on that will close and they won't be able to do any progress on that.
So, Dr. Ship, if I understand correctly, all life on the planet is being affected by this de-evolution process.
Yes.
And it's imperative that we reverse it for the members of your science team that are gone right now, and also so that we can acquire, or at least help you acquire, samples that will further your research.
There's probably still viable samples out there that haven't been affected yet. Her own experience as an example, like not everything is transforming at the same rate. So you might be able to find untransformed samples out there. You need to get sufficient quantity of them in order to be able to manufacture a cure or a treatment, which will take some further analysis. But there's probably still enough samples out there to be effective.
Well, that's encouraging.
As for curing the science team, like she doesn't even know where she would begin. However, she does admit that her own mental faculties are definitely failing. So she's not sure how much help she could be with that effort, but it's theoretically possible to undo the damage.
Do you have any insights you could share with Dr. Hudson? Sorry, Dr. Hudson, please.
We could perhaps run some diagnostics on exactly how they're changing. It may offer at least some stability, if not outright reversal of the process.
All right. So just to bring this scene to a close, unless anybody wants to fit anything in, you basically have... Go ahead.
I need to speak to the captain.
Yes.
Okay, so you
Commander,
guys step out of
Lieutenant,
the corridor.
We'll be back.
Mm-hmm.
If I could speak while I'm running my diagnostics, that would be great.
Oh,
and
Commander,
then just sort of like looking around, like y'all need to get the fuck out of here for a second.
Mm-hmm.
So one useful activity might be to go and get crew records of the station so you can match them up with people you've got.
Or,
so maybe you guys could go and take care of that.
See what's up with the power.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
or any number of things.
Yep.
Yeah, immediately I want to try to stabilize the electricity in here.
Okay.
I'm okay at engineering. So yes, I will come supervise the lieutenant.
Sure.
You're like all over again. I can assist with everything.
I'm the
okay.
XO. I make shit happen.
Absolutely. It's great. You built them well.
So yeah, I'm going to go hunting for like, I don't know, space breaker boxes or whatever.
Sure. So
to try and
you wander a short way.
Electricity.
Yeah, wander a short way down the corridor and get into the control room, like the main office sort of idea. And there's a pile of data pads. You kind of push them out of the way, but one of them catches your eye. There's a name on it that seems familiar, and that's a Dr. Helena Burlette. And it just looked like a routine memorandum that was being sent around, but it looks like Dr. Helena Burlette was one of the members of the science crew here on the station.
I'm definitely going to read that because I recognize this name.
It looks like it's just a routine set of taskings and stuff. These two researchers are going to do that. Those two researchers are focusing on that. So she was like a team lead within the science station, but she was definitely a member here on the ground. And we cut back to the medical bay with Dr. Hudson, Captain Chichiro.
So, Dr. Hudson's like doing some blood work, scanning things, doing sciencey medicine bits, right? And it like takes a few minutes of like sort of building up how to broach this subject. Captain, I know that we have just recently started serving together, and I do not want to by any means approach telling you how we should run our first mission together. We have to get those samples. I don't know if you have any background or have had anyone that you know of that has contracted neuromotic syndrome, but it is a terrible disease.
Oh, no.
Part of my studies in Starfleet Academy revolved around it, and my compatriot, best friend,
You're cutting out.
No, damn it. I was trying to be soft and emotional, y'all.
Yeah.
He contracted the disease while we were studying it, and it would mean everything to me to make sure that we get everything we can from this, regardless of what that may mean happens to these scientists. If we have to leave the planet with these samples and abandon them here, the good of the many outweighs the survival of the few.
Look at this guy pulling out the Star Trek quote.
That was totally.
Was that a quote?
Yeah.
Oh, fuck. Cool.
That's Spock
Yeah,
at the
his
end
death
of
scene. That was his last
second
words.
movie.
Spock dies? Damn.
It's the needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few or the one. So you were right on there, Chris.
Goddamn. All right, well.
Yeah, way to go.
Broken clocks and whatnot.
Yeah.
So Captain Chichelor, already listening with deference, considering his standard manner of trying to thoughtfully appreciate insights from people who have greater expertise than him, softens with empathy. And he says, I appreciate you for sharing that with me, Dr. Hudson, and trusting me to listen to the import of your words. And one thing you'll come to know is that I believe in a simple insight that I've learned over my long years, which is that the chain of command depends on every link. And so your expertise is something I hope to come to trust. And regardless of your personal feelings about this, your insights into the possible large-scale importance of this finding is something that I intend to take seriously. I will also make it clear that I have a particular philosophy about Starfleet. We are serving to explore, and we are also serving to expand on the potential and the happiness of humanity. Or sorry, I wouldn't say humanity. Of all peoples. And so therefore, the lives of those sad, de-evolved science team members is something that I will not neglect. I aim for us to acquire those samples and then attempt to do all we can to save those poor souls and then leave before we reach the point of no return.
I'm going to pause you there. Can I get a reason engineering roll from Coleman? And Drew, were you going to assist? Sure.
Yeah,
Yes.
you helping?
And that was reason and control.
Reason
Excuse
and
me, no, that
engineering.
was not it.
Engineering.
There are numbers here. Yes.
You tried.
Yep. Oh, would my... Well, never mind. It wouldn't have changed anything. I was going to ask if my focus in small craft would have mattered, but yeah.
I don't have a focus that helps here, but I am rolling against a 13, so. Nope.
All right.
14.
I will allow you to succeed at a cost,
Mm-hmm.
if you wish.
What
but
is
you would
the
be able to
cost?
restore power to the to two locations. For example, you could do a science lab and a medical bay, or you could do the medical bay and external defenses, or external defenses in the science lab. So pick two of the three.
I would go for the med bay and the science lab.
All right. So you managed to basically isolate the rest of the system and get enough clean power to power on those two systems. However, you managed to blow a voltage regulator next to the console and take 3 stress.
Ooh, 3 more.
As the complication.
You know,
so
6.
as back in the med bay, as you guys just finished that last statement, the power comes on.
Oh, wonderful.
So you have lights, diagnostic equipment starts up, you know, and all that. You have full operational med bay now.
All right.
So,
Okay, and I'm going to turn to our Nerjad. Are you? What's your rank?
Commander.
Commander, yeah. Just like, Commander, I knew one of the people stationed here. I'm just sort of going to point to this pad I found.
Are you going to be able to maintain some level of decorum?
Yes, of course, but I would like to do all we can to save them. I honestly don't know how feasible it's going to be, but even if we have to leave now, I don't want to abandon these people.
I don't think the captain has plans to just abandon people, but I do believe that the samples are probably going to be our priority.
Yeah, I acknowledge that we also don't know how to undo this or what's even happening here. So
it is my inexpert opinion that if we can perhaps stabilize everybody so they don't get worse, then potential for a cure can be found later with a like looks between the lieutenant and himself and a better crew for this situation.
There is certainly enough room in your shuttle to, if you sedated all of the scientists or several of them, you could transport them safely. So if you're not able to work out a cure here,
get them out.
Round up as many as you can and save as many as you can and still transport them out. All right, so we'll end scene at this point. And here's what you have in front of you. So there's one required challenge task that you need to do, and that's to be able to recover enough repair parts to fix your ship.
Excellent.
So that's your critical path. There's a couple of other options that you can engage in as well. One is gathering enough specimens to be able to preserve the knowledge that they gained here about your remotic syndrome. And the other path that you could take is curing devolution. Now, Captain, you have a crew, so you can assign different people different tasks. And I guess sort of a third option is just gathering up Neanderthals and subduing them to try and transport them with you. So that's an option. So there's a couple things that you guys could do, but the critical path is getting enough. Gun. But the critical path is getting parts to get your shuttle airborne again.
Yeah.
Now the storm is worsening.
I'm just like,
go ahead.
I have this image of like Dr. Hudson doing like medical science of, gosh, names are hard when y'all made up bullshit languages. Vrilla fixing the ship, and then Captain and Nerjad just like, it's time to hunt the most dangerous game. Just like,
yeah.
So the ion's getting worse. So you have a clock in front of you.
Oh, right.
You have
4-segment clock?
No, you have a 15 interval clock in front of you.
Cool.
All right. So you need to choose which tasks, and you can try to do all of them to complete. And if you get them completed within the 15, then you guys escape and get things done. Anything that you don't complete within the 15, you'll have to abandon in order to get off the planet safely. It's possible for the curing devolution that you might be able to come up with some sort of a way to cure it in an area. And that would just, like, through an aerosol or something like that, or possibly through a hypospray, where you would need an individual contact. So you have a few different options there. So what do you guys want to do for the various things?
Captain?
The gathering specimens.
I think we want to have an in-character conversation so that it isn't just one player dictating what we choose to do.
And as a guide, so just as a base level thing, locating the samples is going to be a reason science unless you come up with a plausible alternative.
Cool.
The curing devolution is going to be like a medical research difficulty, so there'll be a lot of reason science or reason medicine.
All right.
The gathering components will be reason con or control science or reason engineering. There's a few different options that work there. So those are the tasks you can do. And then there's just straight hunting, which would be hunting through the woods and just gathering up fallen Neanderthals. Mm-hmm. So you know that there's 13 people. You've got 2 of them here, so there's still 11 out there. But you've got 1 other that you captured already, so there's only 10 out in the wilderness.
Yeah, cool.
Okay, well.
All right. Y'all going to come back to the room?
I really love this because it's like the person who's going to be best at curing the eromotic syndrome is not necessarily the best choice to be gathering the samples, but wants the samples collected the most. And the person who really wants to cure the eromotic syndrome, or who really wants to cure the scientist, is not the best person to do that, but they're probably going to be better at gathering this. I love that tension. It just worked out really well.
It is good.
Like,
it's real good.
I think in character wise, there's this sort of like Dr. Hudson definitely understands everything the captain said, and especially as the power comes back on, there's this bit of like, very well, I'll do my part here, but I want those fucking samples.
You know the way it works, Dr. Hudson. In a chain, each link pulls on the ones before it and after. So, if I can trust you, you better be damned that you can trust me. And then do the commander and lieutenant walk back in?
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, if I can say crew, seems like we have several tasks in front of us. And they all seem like they're important. So we have to figure out how we can at least attempt to accomplish all of them, even if we don't end up meeting all of those goals.
I believe our primary goals are fix the ship.
Yes.
Get the samples.
Samples are important. Absolutely.
Cure or stabilize these folks.
Yes. Great.
That is important, but I would be willing to come back for them later.
Well, let's not rank lives here. What I think is important for the purpose of making our decisions as the 4 of us is stating which things are really important. Choose one primary goal, which is, stabilizing the ship. We can't accomplish anything if we don't repair the ship and get off the planet.
We need to get off the planet before we begin de-evolving the way everyone else is.
Exactly. So, we have a limited amount of time to do that. However, I am optimistic. I think that we can recover all the other science team members. I think that we can get the samples. And I think that we can repair our ship, provided that we devote our attentions and our capacities in the right areas, regardless of what our personal inclinations might be in the present moment.
Well, I'm going to put forward that while I am not the best engineer, I know shuttles. And I think I can probably get the shuttle back in working order. I can figure out the parts. They're here somewhere. And putting them together, thank God these things are built on a template.
A standard template protocol?
Indeed. That's why we use protocols, Dr. Hudson. Imagine if every person you perform surgery on had a different internal anatomy.
That would be awful.
They do, sir.
I love it.
And then Captain Chichalor looks and goes, fair enough. All right.
As you look around the
Poor
room.
choice of words. And he laughs.
Just kind of like shake my head a little bit, and then just like I'm just focused on
one medicine, 7 reasons.
Well,
all right.
Commander, if you've got the ship, got it. I will go hunting for plants.
Great. Dr.
I really
Hudson?
want to get these samples.
I'm sorry, I interrupted you. Please continue, Lieutenant.
Yeah, just... I feel that I am the most well-equipped to go trekking out through the underbrush hunting for plants.
Star trekking out.
A trek beneath the stars. Yes. All right, Dr. Hudson.
I'm here.
Great. Can you pursue a cure? At least some temporary halt to the de-evolution, which would benefit ourselves and
Hudson's already been working while y'all were having this conversation.
Sure, yeah.
I'm sorry. You're right. He already has been. Okay. Then let me. I think Captain Chichler might say something else, which is, I will leave you to your continued research on a cure.
As you were, Doctor.
I will choose the bold move to try and find those wayward science team members.
4-way split. All right.
Yeah. Captain's got good security, pretty good control and daring and fitness, so.
Fitting this whole group of Neanderthals back in the shuttle.
At least get some.
Herd.
Yep,
Big herd.
exactly.
All
Let's go.
right, so here's your clock.
Cool.
So the collect repair parts, you need to have 3 successes to collect all the parts.
All right.
Every time you make a roll, it's going to be 2 intervals of time.
Okay.
Unless you have a talent that has the ability to reduce that, or you spend momentum to reduce it. So
Okay.
gathering the
Ooh.
specimens, you've got to locate the specimens and then collect them. So you need to do 3 locates and 3 collects for a total of 6 successes. Every time you roll is going to be 2 intervals. During devolution, there's a series of instances. You have to find the cause, figure out what the symptoms are, and then develop a cure. There's a couple options for how you're going to deliver that cure. So that's just straight linear challenge.
Is that the linear challenge that I started last time?
I'm gonna I've reduced the difficulty as we move through because you've already got some level.
Cool.
Okay.
Do we have resistance on these rolls?
There are no I haven't used any resistance in any of these extended tasks.
Okay.
So most of these are basically just linear challenges or a bifurcated challenge or whatever. So you have to
Excellent.
go back and forth. Okay, so if we're ready, we can get started.
Well,
So
before we begin,
just your
is it
Yeah, go
okay
ahead.
if the captain does one more thing?
Mhm.
Which is having everybody together. Captain says, I'm certain that this is the first time I'm going to say something that I'll be able to say, for I hope a bright future. It's an honor to serve with you, crew. And I'm going to roll a rally.
Sure.
All right. Build some momentum. Presence command. Cool.
Hudson's already getting this. Wow, I thought I was self-important. Sort of.
2 success.
There we
2
go.
successes.
Put that on there.
What does that do again?
There's more
It's
momentum.
2 momentum.
Oh, sure.
So can somebody add
We're
to
just
mine?
really
Cool,
hyped.
'cause I'm buried under
We're maxed.
handouts.
Yeah.
Oh, gotcha.
Maxed.
We can't move them, but yeah, we've got it on our
Oh.
character sheets. So as long as you
Okay.
keep us in the loop, we can update our own character sheets.
We'll add it up there for the visual. Okay. All right, so let's start with gathering components.
Sure.
Your first roll.
And you said reason con?
Reason engineering, reason con would work, or control science as a possibility.
Oh, reason
If you
con.
want to make a
yeah.
case, if you want to make a case or something else, I'll go for that.
Yeah. No, reason con makes sense. Unless we're just talking about potentially fitness con and just manhandling
Carrying.
parts. Like I make one trip and I'm going to drag
this
all
is-
of this.
Oh, you're just going to drag a whole pile. No, this is actually finding the components that you need.
That's what I figured. So yeah, no.
There's a hunt and search part. To
Yeah,
this.
no. Reason con works just fine by me. It's equivalent to basically everything else. I do have a focus on small craft.
That would certainly apply.
Okay. And then I am going to take 1 momentum to add an additional die.
Cool. Excellent.
And then basically I'm just looking for not 3 successes, but success 3 times, right?
That's correct.
Okay. Just making sure.
So hang on. No, this is difficulty 1.
Okay, cool. So I'm technically looking for 1 success 3 times.
Yes.
Okay, cool. And then I will roll.
You're probably not rolling all 3 in a row, right?
Right.
No. Because every time he rolls, it's 2 time intervals.
Right.
So
Sorry, what?
successes.
2 time intervals.
That's
so,
right.
Yep.
I don't think I heard that before.
Yeah, the storm is
everything
getting
is
worse.
2? Yeah, I got that
unless,
part.
Yeah, unless you guys alter through use of momentum or talents that you have that can cut that to 1 interval. But in general, the default is that task rolls will take 2 time intervals and time challenges. Right, so we have 2 successes.
Can't do everything?
Oh,
Interesting.
we can.
You wouldn't be able to do everything if you're doing it one after the other, but you're doing simultaneous activities.
So I'm spending
split up.
2.
Oh, each round of rolls.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Got
So
it.
you have a total of 15, but I'm
Got it.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah, because we're all doing them concurrently.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Sure.
6 times 3 is 18. So.
Would you like to spend that extra momentum you got to reduce the time by 1?
I would indeed.
All right. I have updated your handout.
Awesome.
Collected per parts is 1 out of 15 for time and 1 out of 3 for successfully collected parts.
Awesome.
All right. Let's do gathering specimens.
Okay. So for this, I
locating
have
a sample is a reason science with a difficulty of 2.
reason science. I have a focus on botany. So
This would absolutely apply.
that's 3 die I'm rolling.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I have the talent for intense
no.
scrutiny.
No,
That's
focus
2 die.
makes you crit better.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
focus makes you- So it's 2 die you're rolling unless you want to buy extras.
No, it's fine.
You can spend a momentum for an extra die.
And we have 6, so it makes sense to go ahead and...
Yeah, I'll spend a momentum so I can roll 3. For science and reason, to go hunting for plants. 1, 1, and a 0.
1, 1,
And a
0.
complication. The red... Yep.
So that's 2 time intervals. You've got 1 located and 1 collected. All right. So as you're locating the sample, you find yourself in some fairly rough territory. And you end up losing your footing, so you're going to take 1 stress. Now that's your complication. So you have located a sample, now you need to collect it. So the collection task is daring or control and security with a difficulty of 3.
Whoa.
Okay, I'll go for daring and security.
Go for it.
Does the botany focus?
Unless you want to make another case for something else.
No, that's good.
Okay.
And then the botany focus still, because I'm assuming it's a plant I'm cutting.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And I will spend a momentum to roll 3. It's
All right.
difficulty 3. 2, 1, 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you can take 1 of those momentum, put it in the pool, and you can take 1
Okay.
of those momentum to cut the time interval in half,
Okay.
if you like. So that's 3
So, yeah.
for your time interval, and you've got 1 collected.
Okay. Sounds good.
All right. Updated your handout. And now we'll go to the curing or the de-evolution. So first step for you is identify the cause.
That is very much like my diagnostics and blood work and everything that I was trying to do. Cool.
Yep. So reason science task. It's a difficulty 3 reduced to 2.
Reason science?
Yeah, reason science. But I would go with reason medicine.
I mean, cause, yeah, science. I mean, I'm good at both of them. It's fine.
Okay.
It makes
So
sense.
it's a difficulty 3 task reduced to difficulty 2 because of the work you put in already.
Sure.
effectively creating an advantage for yourself.
By a die.
Okay.
Use that momentum. Heck yes.
That was a great roll, Ash.
Yeah, that was
for
really
sure.
good.
I tap my composure here, like under pressure, and like doing what needs to be done and staying focused, even though what I'd like to be doing is being out there grabbing those fucking plants. Because it's incredibly more important to me.
Sure, I'll grab your sure. I'll let the composure apply.
Cool.
That's your determination?
It's
Nope.
my focus.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. Hey, there
Three
you go.
successes.
yeah.
So that's difficulty 3, and so you have spent 2 time intervals.
Difficulty
That's
2.
fine.
Reduced by 1.
It was difficulty
You
2.
reduced it by 1.
Oh,
Sorry.
difficult 2, so you can cut that time in half if you want, or you can bank that momentum for your friend.
Yeah, I'll cut it in half.
Okay.
So I have a question,
Right,
Craig.
Sure.
I see in the document it lists gathering specimens as 3 out of 5. Did I mishear about how long it takes to gather specimens?
3 out of 15.
Sorry, I meant
For the
3 out of
time.
15. I mean,
Yeah,
in
so
terms of
every
the
roll
time
is
interval.
2 intervals. So she
Okay, yeah.
found a specimen, which
That's a roll.
represents
Oh,
like
that's right.
yeah, that's like an hour of wandering
Cool.
around trying to find one that hasn't mutated yet.
That makes sense. Yeah.
And then
she
I
got another
collected
collection.
it
Okay.
and got
Sounds
to
good.
So-
cut it.
What do I find out anything with this cause?
Yes. So the devolution phenomenon is caused as a result of the unique and usually benign radiogenic properties of the planet. So there's this energy field that's like a harmless radiation that's being emitted by the planet itself that is interacting in an unusual way with the ion storm. So it's the presence of the ion storm that's triggering a change in the radiation that's causing the de-evolution to happen.
Naturally, of course.
So you've identified the cause. Now is to identify the exact mechanism that's causing that trigger in the life forms on the planet. Right. So we'll go back to we're at 150.
Do we want to have Rolf go?
Or
Oh, sorry.
Go hunting.
Yeah, Captain. Hunting the
It's okay.
Neanderthals.
No big deal.
So give me a pitch for what you want to roll for your hunting expedition.
All right. So I think that there are a few things involved, right?
Mhm.
For hunting, it's probably going to be control or daring plus security. That's what I was thinking in terms of tracking their signs and
Sure.
Churchillor's experience in those circumstances. For cowing them, which is a really important part of it, like efficiently getting them in an area and leading them back to a place where we can transport them. I would suggest that presence and command might be relevant by shooting phaser fire above them and not injuring them, and then getting them to the point where I can subdue them. So I'm open to your thoughts on either of them and which one takes precedent in terms of determining the outcome.
I'm okay with the daring and what did you say, daring and security for the hunting expedition.
Mhm.
I think I'm gonna abstract it a little bit and say
Okay, that's fine then.
because you have a phaser and they're basically unarmed and you have a tricorder so you can tell where they are.
Mhm.
That every success you roll means that you've bagged a Neanderthal.
Awesome.
So
Sounds good.
if you get 3 successes on
Awesome.
a particular set of dice, you've bagged 3 of them, you've got them contained and isolated and subdued.
Okay, fantastic.
Okay?
Alrighty.
In a pen corral,
Wonderful.
whatever, we're going to abstract that.
Hmm.
Okay?
That makes sense to me.
A quick question.
Sure.
The shuttle, once we have that up and running, would that
The-
be able to assist other stuff?
No, this is all happening just prior to the time you need to actually fix the shuttle.
Gotcha.
Right? So this
Sorry. I mean, in the future, because I was looking at the gathering parts, and
Sure.
then I was curious if that is a function.
That will be, that's taking place afterwards.
Okay.
So you know roughly how much time you have to get off the planet. If you guys get off there earlier, that's great. But you must be done collecting all the materials after 15 intervals, or you won't be able to have time to repair the shuttle.
Okay. Cool.
And still, so you've left some padding on that end of it.
Awesome.
Okay. So give me your daring and security roll.
Excellent. So I would like to I'd like to confirm something.
Sure.
When you spend momentum, you can buy more than one die, right? But each additional die costs more.
That's correct.
Right? Okay. So if I bought 2 dice, it would cost 3 momentum?
Correct.
Not 2 momentum.
That's correct.
Okay, great. And we currently have 4 momentum. Did I see that right on the sheet?
I thought you were up to
We have 3.
Should have 5.
Yeah, I thought you were at 5.
We should still have 5 because people are... Okay, we're at 5. Great. So, considering that this is a rate limiter and the captain might be able to help others if he can get the Neanderthals as quickly as possible, I am going to spend 3 momentum to buy 2 dice. I'm going to spend my determination, which I still have because I'm a veteran. And I think the value here that could apply is fortune favors the bold, or there's nothing better than action, considering that this is a long action montage and getting these people back.
Fair enough.
Cool. And then for foci or focuses, this is definitely an unexpected challenge and it requires an unorthodox solution.
Sure,
So,
I'll go for that.
awesome. All right. So I'm rolling 4 dice with daring and security. I use the focus and all right, there we go. And I got determination. So let's see what happens. Okay. 5 successes.
So 5.
Cool.
Determination, Chris.
Oh,
It's okay. I saw the face.
Yeah, I
Mine
was
is
like,
not
that's a 3.
reading numbers correctly.
And then I got to roll 1d6 to see if I recover my determination. I think if you get a 5 or 6, I get an effect, right? Cool. Let's see. Come on, bring it back. All right, it's back. We're going to do it again.
That veteran talent's a big one. All right, so you
Highly
spend 2 time
determined.
intervals, and so your chief scientist is out there collecting, and she's hearing phaser fire going off over here, and then there's phaser fire going off over there. We got some quick cut scenes of just Neanderthals falling to the ground senseless, and like being stacked like cordwood and that kind of stuff. So you've got half of the free range Neanderthals are already wrapped up after 2 time intervals.
I refuse to abandon these people, Doctor.
These scientists are very important. Pull.
Pull.
Back to gathering components. Do you want to give me another reason con or control science or whatever we were doing for rolls?
Reason con I think is fine, especially with the shuttle. I'm kind of ahead of the game, so I'm going to leave that momentum and might hopefully bank some with a lucky roll. Double checking. Yeah, I was double checking my talents. It was like, do I have anything in here? No. Cool. Reason con.
1 success. So you have 2 out of 3 parts collected. 3 time intervals are passed.
Right.
I've updated your clock.
Awesome.
All right. And then we're on to gathering specimens. So you need to do another locate.
Yeah. Science and reason to locate with my focus on.
Yep. With a focus
I'm
on
rolling-
botany.
Only rolling 2. It's difficulty 2.
Yep.
Okay. Got
2.
both.
Ooh, good.
All right, and then
5
daring and
time
security
intervals.
to pick it.
Yep.
I was imagining finding it and then just sort of like,
Unless you want to make a case for something else, yes.
it's fine. I like the idea of finding this possibly dangerous plant and then just sort of just like carefully hacking at it.
And you do remember there were some noxious plants on your way here that you guys had to try and avoid.
Right.
So there's
Yeah.
poisonous
Oh, yeah,
flora.
that's right.
That's a 1.
Right, that is not a
That's-
success.
no.
I mean, you rolled a success, but the difficulty was 3, so you weren't able to collect that one. So when we come back to you, you can do the collection part. I think that puts you at C.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. And curing de-evolution. You are studying the symptoms now. This would be a control medicine task, unless you want to make a case for something else. Difficulty of 3.
Man, I think I just do not understand what the attributes mean.
Like,
So
how they function?
So control is tool use.
Sure.
So if you're using some diagnostic equipment or manipulating a scalpel or something like that, but if you want to make a case for something else, go for it. Like if you're going to take a gamble, you can roll your daring if you feel like it, or like, feel free to make a case for something else.
So I kind of thought that I had pictured it as I had gotten all my samples and found what the cause was, and now I'm sort of, based on my knowledge and the evidence presented in front of me, like kind of making an insight into what is happening.
Yeah, you know what is causing the problem, but you're not sure how that is affecting the mechanisms of the body. So that's where you're investigating that.
Okay.
Okay. So, by the book, we're asking for control medicine, but if you want to make a case for reason medicine.
Sure. I can't see a thing when I'm ever doing a medicine without tools. So am I always going to be running control?
It's more, is the primary thing you're doing with a tool, or is it relying more on your knowledge?
I don't think it is, right? I think it's trying to figure out.
Yeah, because you're not doing surgery.
Because I already ran the diagnostics, right?
Yeah.
That was finding the cause, right? So I'm not necessarily doing.
Well, to put it another way, this is you taking those samples, putting them through machines, reading up on the machines, testing.
Yeah.
So there's multiple ways to do it. If you have a different idea, like it sounds like you're leaning on reason, go with that.
Yeah.
So there's
I was thinking more.
If I can build an example, so
I mean, I'm fine to like. I'm not arguing for any particular thing. I just.
But it's a worthwhile discussion
to understand.
Have, right? So the way the breakdown is you've determined that arsenic is poisonous.
Right.
But you don't know what the exact mechanism is that the poison does on the body to cause it to be poisonous.
Okay.
So you know it's poisonous, but you don't know the specific mechanism biologically. So you need to analyze it to see what it's doing, see what it does to cells and that kind of stuff.
Sure.
So that would be like a lot of microscope work and running simulations and that kind of thing. So I think that's why it's calling for control, but it's easy enough to make it swap to something else.
Sure.
It's not written in stone or anything like that.
Yeah, no, that's fine. I'm having a disconnect of like how important it is that I'm good at this personally, and how good it is, like how exactly I'm interacting with the environment, right?
Yeah, I see what you mean. So the mechanisms for the game are that you don't need to be a medical doctor. Understand? Because I'm not a medical doctor, so I couldn't adjudicate whatever you're saying anyway.
Right.
It's just build a plausible.
Right. When I said I meant my character.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay. Now, with your background, like it's easy enough for you to make a case. Like I've done this kind of work before. Maybe I've seen something similar. That's why I want to use reason science. Right. We've got specializations or focuses that apply. So I would accept reason science for this role. That's
okay.
Fine.
You have biology focus, don't you?
No.
Okay.
Surgery and botany, infectious diseases.
I have xenobiology.
Right.
One of the other things.
Then I'm not trying to like win and have the highest number pool. I just was sort of thrown off that you said control, because I think I just need to read some more examples of like in various different contexts what the stats do. Because
sure. Well, and so in this case, you said
I gotta have it like Chronicles of Darkness stuff. Like if I'm trying to talk my way out of a problem, like it's gonna be either presence or manipulation. And here it's more like, no, medicine could be any of these 6. And it really is a finer line of like which one it may be based on your approach. So
and maybe this is a good spot to talk about it. So control is tool use or equipment use, or you're using something to fabricate something. It's
also controlling yourself, precision, accuracy, controlling your emotions, all that.
Okay.
There's a great write-up on 96 and through about like all this stuff it kind of reminds me of oh my gosh, the thing we just played, Blades in the Dark, where it's like, well, we say hunt, but that could be finding a thing, or it could be shooting somebody from across the room.
Right.
Yeah, so control is about tool use for precision, where accuracy is required and that kind of stuff. Reason is logical analysis, knowledge, your ability to look at a situation from different areas. Insight is a little bit more intuition and interpersonal relations and educated guesswork, that kind of stuff. Daring is like, I don't have time to think about this. I just need a freaking cure now.
Right.
Forge ahead. So that would be a daring sort of thing. So that gives you a feel for.
Yeah, I think that makes a little bit more sense. Okay. Cool. So yeah, this definitely is control then.
Okay.
Like it's very precise work. Cool. Still difficulty 2?
Right, difficulty 3 reduced to 2.
Alrighty. Oh yeah, I have my medicine talent. I didn't do that last time. I'll remember it this time. If I buy a dice, I can re-roll one.
Oh, good.
So I'm going to do this thing.
Sure.
Sounds good.
Yeah, that's important.
2 successes.
Right, and then I will...
You get to reroll the 0.
Yeah. Awesome.
14.
Number is a 14.
Yes.
So you got your 3 successes.
That's 3.
So
Which
that
means I
was
get
2, and you have the symptoms. And because difficulty reduced to 2, that gives you back a momentum.
Yeah, I think I'll leave it in the pool.
Okay.
Awesome.
All right. So with 3 out of 15 for time on your side, you've got the cause and the symptoms.
I will need that momentum.
Yes.
Now, actually, I'm going to take that momentum back, the one you put in the pool, because every additional success you got on this roll reduces the difficulty of the next task by 1.
Oh, okay. Yeah, sounds good.
Right? So now you're aware of the mechanism that's happening within the body, and you can devise a cure to interrupt that process and possibly reverse it. So you've got 2 options here.
Okay.
Do individual cures, which will be delivered by hypospray. Hang on. Okay, so devising a cure will be a difficulty 4. Reduced by 1 is 3. Reduced by 1 is 2.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
So because of the groundwork that you've laid and the fact that you've got extra successes in stage 2, means your difficulty 4 task of interrupting this is now reduced to a 2.
Nice.
Sounds
but
good.
we'll get to that next go around. Right. So that's 3 out of 15 causes and symptoms you cure, and we're back to hunting Neanderthals.
All right.
We're gonna half of the wayward scientists are rounded up in 2 time intervals. So let's go again with your determination still active.
Yes, we're going to do it again because these people need to be saved. And Captain Chichalor is determined to succeed. Go ahead, Chris.
If I've kept track, I think we only have 1 momentum in the pool right now.
Correct.
Okay.
Ah, interesting. Okay. I will take that.
Seems
appropriate.
Oh, sure.
You can give me extra threat.
Oh, I'm happy to give you threat. Oh, yeah.
So you can spend 1 momentum and give me 2 threat and get 2 dice.
Okay, so if you spend 2 threat, you get the equivalent of 1 die? Or the equivalent of 1 momentum, is that right? Is that what the conversion is?
Threat to momentum is 1 for 1.
I'll give you 4 threat so that somebody else can keep that momentum.
No, it'd be 3 threat.
Already at 4.
Oh, I'm saying how much momentum's in the pool, right? Oh, it'd be 5. That's right. Never mind. You double it up. What I was thinking is, sorry, I said that too quickly. What I meant is, how much threat would it cost if I instead chose to acquire 2 additional dice exclusively from threat without taking a momentum from the pool?
That would be 3 threat.
Okay, great. Thank you. Perfect. There we go. That's what I was asking when I said, is the conversion factor 2 threat for 1 extra die, or is it 1 threat? Okay, then I'll go 3
threat and
threat.
momentum they're exactly the same.
Great. Then I'll
They're
take.
currently at 4 threat.
Right. This would
you'd overcap the threat bar by doing this thing.
Oh, okay, gotcha. All right. Well,
go ahead, Craig.
Yeah. So I would recommend that you because I know what's coming. Use the 1 momentum you have to buy a die, and then give me 2 threat to keep the threat at a somewhat more manageable level.
Okay,
Because
sure.
the way it looks right now, you're looking for a hell of a climax to get to the ship and get it all
I mean, it's
repaired.
looking like we're not going to get the
Gotcha.
samples.
Get off the ground.
Okay, sure. I'll do
Because I've
that.
spent half my time and gotten 1.
Gotcha. That makes sense. Okay. Well, let's see. Oh, would the... No, I'm using a phaser, I guess. I was going to ask if the Ushan would be relevant here, considering when you buy extra dice with threat, you get the reroll.
Yeah.
You're
You
brandishing a
don't have
weapon
to be
at them.
using the Ushan. That Ushan, that honor sort of code that you apply is what generates that for you. So that would definitely apply. So you bought a dice with threat.
Mm-hmm.
So you use one momentum to buy 1 die, and you give me 2 threat to buy 1 die.
Yes. Great.
So the Ushan would definitely apply.
Excellent. Thank you. It means I get to reroll the pool. This is going to be good.
Oh, yeah, it's a whole dice pool. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Alrighty.
anything up to the dice pool. You don't have to reroll anything you've already succeeded on.
Oh, that's right.
You keep
Yeah.
your successes.
Thank you.
Okay.
Even
cool.
better.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, that
Yeah,
is.
good.
That's a lot better. Choose to reroll your failures. Give me that road action. I got road on melee, road on weaponry. Okay, so I'm going to roll the same thing just as before.
Mhm.
4 dice with determination and a reroll if necessary. I think
Well
that's
then.
4 dice.
4, 5,
Ooh.
6, 7.
Oh.
It's not necessary.
Ooh,
So about
yeah,
that momentum
okay.
pool.
Let's yeah. So
So
let's
you needed
reroll.
5.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
I'm
you
gonna
are
reroll
extra
first.
momentum.
So you already
Okay.
have 2 extra.
Yep. Boom. That's a
Okay.
success.
That's
So
another
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You rolled 6 successes. The determination gives you 2 more.
Cool.
7, 8. You only needed 5, which gives you guys 3 momentum in the pool.
Awesome.
And the Hunting Neanderthals is complete after 4 time intervals.
All right. Determination. Give it back. I'm determined. Nope. Mm-mm.
Am I
But that's
currently
Get determination.
within like are we in communication with one another?
Yep, you all have communicators.
So that's done. And the captain says, Commander Jod, I've found them all.
Well done, sir.
And there's travel back and forth, so like you've got them
That's
secured
true,
in
yeah.
a room in the shelter or something.
So
Yeah.
I want to put this
so-
to the crew real quick because especially I know we had YouTube guys. You probably haven't noticed. Twitch guys, you know, we're a little past our normal break time. Want to throw this to the crew real quick. I can spend that 3 momentum and give Captain his determination back.
Oh,
Or should we hang on to the momentum?
And,
think we
but
need
then
I
the
have to
captain,
collect
Oh, that's
the
2
captain
more
can help out
plants.
with the gathering, right?
Yes, that's right. Exactly.
And the captain, I believe, because there's some daring involved in the sample gathering,
Mm-hmm.
he's a daring kind of guy, so that might
Yep.
be useful.
I can also assist. I can use advisor. There's a lot of things I could do with that determination. So
Yeah, because notably the reason is it's not just the captain having determination. Well, it's not. Oh my gosh, too many names.
Yeah.
Captain Chuchalor having determination. It's because the captain can spend his determination on behalf of somebody else.
that's right. I can give you determination. So you don't have any determination. If the commander gives it back to me, I can give it to you.
Right. That's why I'm trying to figure out what do you guys think mechanically
Yeah.
what we should do.
I mean, that can almost guarantee I get 1. If I roll 1 success with the determination, I will get it.
Exactly.
Mhm.
I think 2
That sounds
guaranteed
good.
successes is better than 2 dice.
Right. Okay, cool. So that clears our momentum, and I think that's once per... Oh, I've moved off that page. I'll find it again.
I think it's just whenever. I think it's just what you do.
I believe you are correct. Yep. Whenever somebody in communication with me spends a point of determination. Yep.
Sweet. And then, let's see. When you assist, the character
Well, we
assisted can reroll. Oh, sorry. Keep going. I'll stop.
You're going to help with the specimens, I presume?
Yes.
So let's do the gathering components
Yeah.
You got 2 out of 3, 1 more success,
To get the
and
parts.
you're done.
And reason, con, focus is still active.
Mm-hmm.
Hey! All right, and I only needed
Mhm.
1, so that's a momentum that is banked. But I'll just take the full duration to.
Awesome.
So collected all the repair parts is complete with plenty of time left.
Fantastic.
And I know we're over time on break, but we also started half an hour late.
Yeah.
I hope everybody's okay. Okay.
Do we want to stop
gathering
here?
specimens.
Because that'll give
Yeah,
us
probably.
that'll give us an hour and an hour with our 2 sessions. We'll
sounds
just
good,
make
yeah.
it very quick break.
Okay, you can take a break. So
That's
when we
good.
come back, we'll do the collecting of the specimen that's already been discovered.
Awesome.
Okay. Right. I have a thing to do. There we go. Okay. Thanks everyone for joining us. Hope you're enjoying our little delve into Star Trek adventures from Occultists. Please encourage everybody, whether you're on YouTube or to join us on Discord. That's yeetinto.ice. If you feel so inclined, you're more than welcome to support us on Patreon so we can keep on buying wonderful art and keep our equipment up to date and refreshed. I personally need new headphones. So that you can find that at, I can't avoid it, staylucky.club.
Yeah.
So see you after the break for all the folks on Twitch. And if you're on YouTube, then we'll see you next week. Bye.
Bye.
All right. See y'all later.